Hey y'all, it's your girl Jada J. What's up? What's up? Okay, so this is the Haves and Have Not Season 6, Episode 9. What's the name of this episode, y'all? Wait a minute, it's coming to me. It's coming to... An eye for an eye. Yep, I just making sure you guys knew. By the way, I do notice this glare right here, but if I turn out this light, it's going to be super dark in here. So hopefully we'll have it together next season. Hopefully, okay? So, okay, this was a very good episode. A lot going on, so I do want to go right in, or else we might be here all night. And, you guys, you're never going to believe this. I recorded a video earlier, right? But my phone was acting real funny, talking about apps couldn't update and stuff like that. So I had to end up deleting stuff. The videos got deleted, so this is my second time recording. And they had to, you know how phones have like this trash? Like, but you can go in the trash and read, like, nope, it just deleted it permanently. So here I am again, out of love for you guys and out of love for the show. So thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, the Haves and Have Not Season 6, Episode 9, An Eye for an Eye. So remember last week, no notes either, you guys. So I'm just going off the top of my head and I'm trying to remember. So bear with me, please. Okay, so remember last week, David popped up at Hannah's location talking about, if your son does not turn him in, I will have him prosecuted for murder. Okay, so Hannah being Hannah, she's not really scared, or at least she's not showing that she is. She's not even showing that she's upset with Benny. She's just like, okay, David, bye. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, well, I'm sure you do. She was like, I just told you I didn't. And he was like, come on, you're a good, a Christian, decent woman. Like, it's not like you to lie like this. She was like, oh. She was like, you think I'm dumb, huh? Like, because she sees he's trying to kind of appeal to her moral compass, trying to get some information. But she was like, nah, I don't care nothing about that. She said, my son is grown. If you want to talk to my son, you go talk to him. So then he's like, I tried to talk to your son, but he was too busy having intercourse with Veronica. And she was like, what? Because remember, she doesn't know. Because she asked Benny, are you sleeping with her again? And he said no. So she was like, what? He was like, yeah. And by the time I got through chewing her out, Benny had already left the house. So she was like, well, you know, it is what it is. He was like, Hannah, come on. I'm trying to talk to you. And she was like I said, I don't know what you're talking about, first of all. And my son is grown. So if you want to talk to him, you do that. He goes, I have a feeling that you're a lot smarter than your son. She says, so you think I'm going to let you stand here and insult my son? He said, it's not an insult. It's an observation. She said, okay. He was like, I'm just telling you, come on, just like talk to your son. My son is in jail right now. I'm just trying to get Candace and your son to step forward so that my son is not railroaded, so he's not taking the blame for every freaking thing that was done. And he was like, come on, we both know Candace is behind this. She's the reason that your boy is in trouble and my boy. You know, she's just a... Somebody's fired just for this. Sorry, y'all, this same person keeps calling. Did I not just mute this? What? That person is going to call right back. I know it because I just answered it, then hung up. So they're going to know somebody's home because I haven't been picking up the phone. But, so anyways. You know what? If this rings again, I think I'm going to unhook it. Because quite frankly, I'm over it. Okay, anyway. So he was like, we both know that Candace is a low-down criminal. She said, now, you know what? You see, this is crazy now. Okay, I'm over it. Because I told you you're going to keep calling back. Okay, so she was like, what? Watch your mouth now. That's my child that you're talking about. He was like, well, I don't understand how you even still claim her. She was like, see, you don't have to understand nothing. It's just like the same way you still claim that wicked witch Veronica for all those years. It's just like that. He was like, look, I don't want to argue with you. She said, I don't know. I just already told you I don't know what you're doing here. She said, I don't trust you and I don't like you. The same way you stood in those chambers and you cried with me as I prayed and you knew my son was innocent. Remember, go back to season 1. He did know that, but he found out that Benny was well, he knew Benny was innocent because he was trying to get Candace, but Candace lent Benny the car to drive that night. So she was like, and you knew my son was innocent, and you just cried. She was like, and I thought it was because you knew he was innocent and you felt bad. She was like, turns out it was just your sins convicting you. And he was like, oh, did I know he was innocent? Did I really know? She was like, I know you did. I know you did. So you can go ahead and keep playing. But like I told you, I don't have anything to say to you. He was like, wow, so this is what you do as a Christian woman? Do unto me as I do unto you? She was like, an eye for an eye. And I think he said that's the Old Testament. I think that's what he said. And she was like, well, that's the one I'm going off of right now because that's how I'm feeling. So she was like I said, I don't have nothing more to say to you. I don't like you. I don't trust you. And you need to get from around here. And when he said it's just an observation, she said, well, go observe your ASS down the street somewhere because I'm not talking to you. And she's like, I'm about to go in this house right now. And so he goes, you know, you should tell your son to do the right thing. She was like, you know what? I should. And he was like, so are you? She was like, nope. Like I said, my son is a grown man. You could talk to him. Oh, I tried. He doesn't listen. She goes, well, there you go right there. You could try it again. Benny comes up on his hard stuff once again. And he was like, hey, my man, what you doing here? She was like, oh, he's standing here trying to tell me that, you need to go ahead and turn yourself in or he's going to turn you in. He said, oh, really? He said, well, I don't know why he'd be doing that because the police are not looking for me. And David was like, oh, the police are looking for you. He was like, no, they're not. He was like, first of all, because the body's inadmissible. He said, oh, did Veronica tell you that? He said, and number two, I didn't do anything, so I wouldn't have anything. They wouldn't be looking at me for nothing. And so Dave was like, oh, I see she taught you something. He goes, oh, actually, she taught me a few things. Hannah knows he's being nasty, so she goes, Benjamin. And he was like, look, my man, you need to get up out of here. He was like, son, this will get very ugly. He was like, it already did. Remember when you tried that with my phones? But you know I had that deadly weapon in my back pocket, right? So you wouldn't try that again. He said, that's a very deadly weapon to call upon. He's like, yes, it is. So I'd get up out of here if I was you. Hannah was like, what y'all talking about? He was like, oh, Benny's friend, Mitch. He was like, man, I said get up out of here because he didn't want Hannah to know that Mitch's family is mob. So he goes, Benny's friend, Mitch Malone. Oh, yeah, his family's the mob. She said, the mob? He was like, yo, my man, get up out of here, dog. You need to raise up, just... He's not about it. He's not about it. So then he goes, you ain't trying to do nothing but get me in jail so that you can get Jeffrey out. She said, you know what? I thought that's what this was. You trying to get my son in so you can get your son out? You and your trifling incest wife, I'm done. I can't even deal with this. And she ends up going into the house. And Benny was like, yep, that's exactly what this is. He was like, nah. I'm just trying to get y'all to be honest about what happened so that my son is not being railroaded. So Benny was just like, you need to get up out of here. He's like, look, you don't want to go down this road with me. This can get very ugly. He was like, it's already gotten very ugly. And he tells him, he's like, okay, son. Okay, this is like, is this what you want to do? But he ends up telling him, Veronica cannot be trusted. So no matter what you do, don't trust her. He said, okay, yeah, whatever. He was like, I dang sure can't trust you, David, can I? He was like, now get up out of here. David was like, okay. And he walked off. Don't know why. Because we know to Benny, it was like, yeah, man, I got you. But you really didn't. Okay, so I'm over it. Okay, so next we end up switching to Landon and Charles in the car. That tight packed car that I can't stand that they're squeezed in the back of. So he's going through like the projections and stuff, seeing how they're doing in all the states. He was like, we're actually doing really well, but you're behind on the red states. And so he was like, you know what? He's like, it's probably the opposition. And so Landon goes, we need to try and turn the tide one way or another. And he goes, yeah. He was like, sir, may I speak freely? He was like, you always do, Landon. What is it? He was like, well, what are you doing all the way out here? He was like, well, like you said, we got to turn the tide. He was like, yeah, but I noticed you added Georgia to the list of states that we're going to visit. And he goes, yeah, so? He was like, well, go ahead, Landon. He was like, don't you think that Atlanta would be a better place than Savannah as far as population and numbers? He was like, just go ahead and say it. He was like, so you're trying to see Candace, right? Because remember, they're in Savannah. So he's telling Charles, why are we going to Savannah when Atlanta's the one with the population and the numbers that we need? And he was like, this is about Candace. He was like, you know it is. I want to see her. And he was like, okay, sir. He was like, okay, so can you set it up? He was like, yes, sir. And so he's going to be, Landon is in love with him. So he's upset. But he's like, all right, sir, I'll set it up. Now let's switch on back over to Benny and Hannah. So, because it's how they split it up. So they're at the house. They talking. They're inside the house. And she was like, so you was messing around with that woman when I specifically asked you if you weren't. You messing with her? And you sat up there and lied in my face? He was like, Mom, look, she was like, no. Because everything that you say to me is a complete lie. Because I sat up there and saw you at the hospital holding her hand and I asked you, are you messing with her? He was like, Mama, I wasn't even messing with her at that time. And she was like, oh, you wasn't messing with her at that time. She said, you know what? This is when I wish that your father had been around to teach you how to be a man. To teach you how to keep things in your pants and to teach you when to do something and when to not. He said, I am a man. She was like, well, where's the man with morals and values? He was like, come on, Mom, I had those. She said, well, where are they at, Benny? Because why would you even sleep with a woman like that? Like, what's going on? He was like, Mom, you need to calm down. Like, you know what? I don't know who's writing for Benny, but he's starting to get on my nerve. Y'all don't know how difficult it was for me to get through these scenes with Benny because he's just off the wall for me. I'm over Benny. You're doing way too much. You're talking slick at the mouth. We understand that you grown, but you're doing some BS right now. So yeah, I'm going to call you out on the BS. Whether I'm your mother, your friend, or whoever. I had to call them out on the BS. Okay? Because you are some BS. Like, come on now, dude. And you want to get upset with David because he had your phone shut off when you and Mitch was in the tow company when he found out that you slept with his wife and his truck? Are you for real, Benny? And you're going to get upset with him because you knew that she was married and you still chose to sleep with her? And now you're upset because David retaliated. Oh, that's why you're upset. Does that even make any sense? That the side piece is upset, that the husband is upset that you are laying up with the wife and you couldn't care less? Like, what are you doing, babe? I just don't understand these things. But, so, he goes, I am a man, Mom. And he was like, dang it. She said, Benjamin, grown man, you better watch your mouth. She was like, and what's this about the mob? The mob, what is this? He was like, Mama, she said, no, answer my question. What is it about the mob? He was like, okay, Mom, Mitch's family, you know, they're mob, but he's not involved with it. She said, oh, he's not involved with them, but David Harrington knows about it somehow through Mitch. He was like, look, they had a run-in, that's all. She said, oh, they had a run-in. She pretty much just repeating everything he was saying because she didn't believe him. And he was like, yeah, Mama, that's all it was. She said, you know what? She said, and what about your truck? He said, what about it? I told you I'm getting a lease on it. And she was like, well, because all I know is that once you started laying up with this woman again, now you're talking about getting a truck. And he was like, Mom, look, I promise you, I'm not doing that. I'm about to get a lease. She said, well, what credit and what down payment, Benny? Come on, are you really sitting here lying? He was like, Mom, don't worry about it. I'm going to get the truck. She was like, okay, Benny, but I'm telling you, I feel it in my spirit. This is bad. He was like, look, Mom. You can't tell me what to do. I'm a grown man. She's like, you know what? You're right. I can't, but I can pray. He was like, oh, that's right. You pray, right? Because you and God always know when something's wrong, trying to be sarcastic and all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'd have had to smack him. I was surprised she didn't, because usually she'll get in his face a little bit. She should have done that. Because I don't know who Benny think he is on the spectrum of David or with Hannah. Because like I tell you, I'm Team David easily. So Benny's getting on my nerve on every twist and turn, every freaking corner. I'm over Benny. And I just want to say, I hated those boots he was wearing. And I don't like how he's walking. I'm over him. So, she was like, so you just like your sister. A pathological liar, huh? He was like, no, Mama, I'm not. She was like, yes, you are, doing whatever it takes, sleeping with whoever to get whatever you want. That's what you're doing now? He was like, no, I'm not. She was like, oh, really? Because that's what you're doing right now? That's what you're doing right now? He was like, look, Mama, all I'm trying to do is bring some money into this house. To get her out, to get us out of her house, not our house, Mama, her house, talking about Katherine. And this is the thanks I get. You're not even gonna be grateful. She said, listen, I understand all that, but I don't want nothing with ill-gotten gains. Period. So if you want, she was like, you are really just like your sister. You had the mentality, I'm gonna run over whoever to get what I want. And that's the problem. That he was like, look, Mama, I don't want to talk about this no more. She said, okay, I'm done. And she walked over into the other room. So Benny is definitely tripping. And she's off, though, because he didn't get the money from Veronica. That actually might have been a little bit worse. But he did get the money from the mob. I actually thought that's where she was going with it. But then she said ever since she started messing with her. So she thinks he probably got the money from Veronica. But we know that's not what happened. So might have missed some stuff with that scene. Let me know, because that was a lot. Next, let's switch over to Landon and Candace. So Candace comes into her hotel room. Landon is sitting in there. And he was like, don't panic. She was like, what are you doing in my room? He was like, I came to say hi. She was like, get out of my room, Landon. He said, is that how you think the man that just got you out of jail? She said, that was you? He goes, actually, well, she goes, it was Charles. He goes, yeah. She was like, well, I keep telling you and him that I don't need your help. He's like, yeah, you made that perfectly clear. She was like, thanks. Well, could you get the word back to him, please? Because I'm serious. And so he's telling her, he's like, he wants to see you. She was like, good for him. He goes, he really likes you. She was like, again, good for him. He said, okay, Candace, I'm going to be honest with you. Look, ever since he met you and hasn't been with you, he's been doing not as well as he usually does in the debates. He's been kind of off. She was like, okay, well, that's some bull. Like, because to her, it sounds like, okay, you really trying to spice me up because he probably wants to just sleep with me and want me to be one of his many. Because remember, Charles did pretty much tell her, I want you to be one of my girls. And she was like, I'm the only one, honey. Remember she said that? So, but what she doesn't know that Charles he really wants to be with Candace, which is sort of strange because they just met. But anyway, so he's like, it's not BS, Candace. I'm telling you, he really likes you. Like, he's been off. Like, ever since he hasn't been able to see you or anything like that. She was like, well, I don't want to see him and I'm not going to see him. And he was like, the least you could do is show some gratitude. He's the one who got you out of jail. She said, I'll send him a postcard. He was like, you know what? This is so stupid. She said, call me stupid again. He was like, I'm not calling you stupid. I'm saying this is stupid. All of this is beneath you. She was like, you know what? I'm tired of people saying that. She's like, what you don't understand is this is the streets. This is where I'm from. This is what we do to survive. So stop trying to change me. Stop trying to help me. This is who I am. He said, that's BS. This is a pathetic way of you coping with the death of your son. She said, Landon, you better shut up. He was like, no, it's the truth. You're just so hurt that you want everybody else to feel your pain. She said, oh, so you a therapist? He said, I'm an observationist. And I see what you're doing. And you need to stop. He was like, we're trying to offer you a better life if you just make one little change. She was like, can you imagine me in the White House? He was like, you're already good at screwing people over. That's all politics is, but you just get a better dress. I said, come on, Landon, I'm over it. That was nice. Had to get that little line around. Had to get that in. And she was like, I'm not going to see him, Landon. You need to get out. And he was like, okay, I'll tell him that you said that, but don't be surprised if he just pops up because he really wants to see you. He goes, no matter how much I don't want him to like you, he likes you. And he wants you around. And he was like, I'm so upset that you don't see the potential in all this. She said, all I see is the problems with all of this. And he goes, and by the way, just stop robbing these senators. She said, senators? He's like, yeah, you robbed a couple senators along with 3 older men. You're almost getting yourself caught up, Candace. She goes, well, that's what I do. And so Landon ends up leaving out. But it looks like she was contemplating. Because, come on, Candace, this is the White House. Like Landon said, you already good at screwing people over. That's all politics is, with a better dress. Okay? So now let's switch on over to Jim and Gia. Now, they was in there doing whatever. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I fast forwarded. So I think Katherine said something immediately as she entered the room. I didn't get it. So by the time Gia hops off of Jim, you know, she's freaking out. So she's like, how did you get in here? Who are you? And Katherine goes, I'm his wife. And she said, Jim, I should have knew you being here with one of your little, you know, side pieces and whatever. I should have knew that. And she was like, married? I didn't know he had a wife. She said, oh, the ring didn't give it away? She said, get out of here before I shoot you. They showed a bit too much because the girl was naked. I think that's what naked looks like. And she ran to get, they could have panned the camera somewhere else. I didn't appreciate it. So she ran to get her stuff and she ends up leaving out. And Jim was like, you still owe me, Gia. He's a dirtbag to his dying day. I'm over Jim. I can't. So Katherine was like, I should have knew you being here with one of your hosts. She was like, do you want me to knock you upside your head, Jim? He's like, why don't you just knock me upside my head and kill me, Katherine? What do you want? She goes, the DA came to visit me. There's a problem. He's like, there's always a problem, Katherine. What is it? She goes, George came to see me. He said the bullets that killed Amanda were a match with the ones that killed Jennifer Salison. And he was like, what? And she goes, yeah. He goes, dang it, I should have knew that. She goes, how would you have known that? He goes, don't worry about it. He did not seem surprised that she said the bullets. Why would the bullets that killed Amanda match with the ones that killed Jennifer Salison? He didn't say anything about that, though. He wasn't shocked. Did they conspire to kill Amanda, everybody? What's going on? I don't know. And so she was like, why would you have known that? He was like, don't worry about it. Call Sarah, but doesn't tell Katherine who he's calling. She even goes, who are you calling? And he's like, forget it. Leaves a voicemail. No, doesn't even leave a voicemail. Just goes straight to voicemail because she doesn't pick up the phone. And so Katherine is like, what are we going to do? He goes, we? Are you saying what are we going to do after you're standing in front of the man that you humiliated and kicked out of the house? Well, it's hard to think about what we're going to do when I'm living in a hotel, Katherine, and we're getting a divorce. So I'm going to tell what we're going to do is testify against you, remember, because we're getting a divorce. She goes, Jim, really? This is what you're going to do right now? I don't have time for this. What are we going to do? He was like, well, first, you're going to get the money reinstated into my accounts. You're going to get my credit back and all that. Make the call. She goes, I don't need you. He's like, you need me more than you ever needed me before, hon. Make the call. So then we switch out to Gia. And so Gia's getting on the elevator. She's freaking out. Candace actually gets off the elevator. She was like, his wife came in there. Girl almost got shot. She was like, what? She was like, yeah, girl, his wife came in. And she was like, okay, calm down. Come to my room. And so they go in the room and she's freaking out. She was like, now tell me what happened. She was like, girl, you know, we were in there and it was me and him and she had a key and she came in and she was okay, hold on. Goes to the mini bar, gets her a drink. She goes, what's this? She goes, drink it. She's like, I don't do dark liquor. She said, girl, if you don't drink this. And so she starts drinking it down. She was like, whoo, girl, I'm gonna get drunk. She said, girl, stop being so dramatic and save that for the Johns. Now what happened? She was like, well, me and him were in there and his wife came in and she said she was going to shoot me. She was like, well, did she? She goes, obviously not. Well, did she have a gun? Well, no. She was like, and you left? She was like, girl, and she was not going to shoot you. She was like, well, I didn't want to stick around to find out. And she was like, okay, calm down. She's like, In the meantime, she was like, just go take a shower. There's plenty of Johns at the bar. You're just going to go downstairs and you're going to do this. She's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. She was like, you can and you will, because this is my money we're talking about. She was like, anyway, was he upstairs? Like, is he down this hallway? She was like, yeah, it's 3029. She goes, what's his name? She goes, his name is Jim. What's he look like? Dirty blonde white guy. He's tall. She was like, girl, for real? Did he like you? She goes, well, yeah, I mean, like, I guess so, but that's not... She goes, girl, his wife was not going to do nothing. Her name is Katherine, right? She goes, yeah, how do you know? She's like, I know both of them. Don't worry about it. She wasn't going to do nothing. She goes, and how much did he pay you? She was like, I didn't get the money. She was like, what? She's like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I legit ran out when she said she was going to shoot me. And she was like, girl, Katherine ain't about that. She was not going to shoot you. And she was like, are you sure? She's like, I'm 100% sure. She's like, now you need to go back to that room and get the money. She was like, I can't, girl, I can't. She's like, girl, you have to go back in there and get my money. You never leave money behind. I got to teach you that. No matter if she comes in there with a Uzi, you never leave money behind. A Uzi or not, you always get the money. Period. So she was like, okay, but I don't think I can do this. She was like, you can and you will. She was like, well, what if she... Well, what do I do if she's still in there? What do I do? She was like, girl, you walk past her like she's a whale in the sea. She said, but I like whales. Candace said, girl, if you don't get your little ass up out of here now. And she left up out the room. Candace was looking at her just as crazy, trying to give her a pep talk to prostitution. Can y'all believe it? Okay. So let's switch back over to Jim and Katherine. So she made the call to Lloyd Bowman, remember the banker that screwed over Candace? She makes the call to him, yes, and put $10 million into his account. I know, Lloyd, yeah, just do it. They hang up the phone. Jim goes, is it done, honey? And she was like, shut up, you dirtbag. Now, what are we going to do? He was like, I got to tell you, I love having the reins over Catherine Cryer again. She was like, shut up. Now, what are we going to do? He goes, the first thing we're going to do is go see our son. She was like, why are we going to see Wyatt? She was like, didn't I just tell you the DA had bullets that match? He was like, listen, let me worry about the DA, okay? We need to go see our son who still has a testimony. We need to go talk to him. So either you can stay here or you can come with me. Boom, 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 boom. He goes to get the door. It's Gia. Katherine goes, didn't I say to get your ass out of here before I shoot you? She was like, look, I want my money. Jim was like, look, I'll meet you at the bar. She was like, oh, so she trying to get shot, acting like a straight up sister. Open up her purse. And Jim was like, listen, I'll meet you at the bar in 15 minutes. She said, no. I want my money now. Katherine said, you know what? I'll give you something. Why don't I just shoot you? She said, I'm not trying to get shot. I just want my money. Jim said, I told you I'll meet you at the bar in 15 minutes. She said, no, I'm not leaving here without my money. I said, okay, Gia. So she was like, Jim, just let me shoot her. Just let me shoot her. Come on. And he goes, listen, I got it. Goes and hands her the money. She goes, thank you. Katherine goes, which? And Gia said, which? Like she was on her thug stuff. I said, okay, Gia. And so she leaves out. Now, so Jim goes, listen, either you gonna come with me to see Wyatt or you can stay here. She was like, I'm not staying in this nasty SS room, period. He was like, thank God for small favors. And then, okay, so we switch back to Gia and Candace. So she goes into the room. She was like, girl, how'd it go? She was like, girl, I did it. I just went in there. I was smooth. I was scared, but I didn't show her I was scared. She threatened to shoot me again, but you're right. She didn't do it. She was like, yeah, I knew it. She was like, girl, I'm telling you, 99% of the time, they not going to shoot you. She was like, wait a minute. What about that one time? She was like, then your mom's going to be burying you. And she was like, but yeah, girl, I made it out with the money. Candace is like, good job. Yes. Now go take a shower. Candace goes, snatches the money out her hand and hands her like one, whatever it was, $100 bill probably. And Gia goes, what's this? She goes, it's your cut. She said, but you took most of the money. She goes, welcome to having a pimp. She said, what's the point of having a pimp if all you're going to do is take all my money? Candace going to have the nerve to say it'll be hard to do work with your face cut up. Now, I don't know if that was a threat or is she trying to say without the protection of a pimp, one of these Johns will cut your face up. I think it was a little bit of both. But Gia was like, I can't believe this. And she was like, so go get cleaned up. And so we could do this. So I can, I'll figure out a plan for him. She said, wait a minute. I have to see him again. She goes, yeah, girl, he's a big score. Huge. She's like, yeah, but you just took most of the profit. She goes, yup. Takes the bill back, rips it up, hands it back to Gia and says, complain again. And Gia's like, are you serious? She's like, I don't know if I want to do this. She was like, you will. And you are. You will be making me my money. She goes, now get your ass in the shower now. So we can get back to work. And I'll figure out this plan for him. And Gia's like, she said, girl, hurry up. So Gia's walking to the shower. Nah, Candace, you'd have got choked out. I'd have slapped her in the face, snatched the money, and ran. At least. At the very least. There's no way. She didn't get paid at all. You legit ripped the bill in half. And then you kept the other half so she can't even tape it back together. Y'all know we be taping bills back together, especially black folks. We can't afford to lose a debt, so we trying to tape it back together. We stapling it. We doing what we can. But she kept the other half. So I didn't even get paid for all of that. Are you serious? No. I'm over it. So now let's switch on over to the jailhouse. So remember Wyatt gave his phone to that cop. I don't know if he got the phone back yet, but remember he was down there filling out a police report, and Oscar set this whole thing up. So he's leaving from, the police report, and he sees David. He's like, oh, hi, Wyatt. He goes, hi, Mr. Harrington. What are you doing here? He was like, oh, Wyatt, are you here to see Jeffrey? He was like, Jeffrey? No, I was just down here filling out a police report. What's Jeffrey doing here? He was like, oh, you don't know? He was like, no, what are you talking about? He was like, you know what? It'll be good for him to see a friend. Come with me. So they're going to go back there and see Jeffrey. So now let's switch back on over to Landon and Adeline. Now, Landon is talking to Adeline about, well, he just got back from, he went to see Candace in Savannah, and then I guess, I think he went to see Candace in Atlanta, and now they're in Chicago, because he's got a debate or something lined up. So, she goes, welcome to Chicago. He's like, yeah, girl, I gotta get used to being on these flights all day. You got anything to drink? She was like, I do. I got tons. He was like, well, can I get some? She was like, that is if I didn't drink it all. He was like, why? She goes, oh, girl, she was like, I'm stressed out because, he was like, Candace. She was like, don't say it. He was like, okay. She won't budge though. She was like, don't. I'm gonna figure this out, okay? Because the plan, they have to set it up so that Candace wants this because he wants to see her. So, he was like, no matter how, he was like, I told her, no matter how much I don't want him to like her, he really likes her. And so we're gonna have to figure something out. And he was like, well, she was like, well, what is wrong with you? And she was like, he goes, listen, please just do not say I told you so. She was like, okay. And then she goes, but I did tell you so. He was like, Adeline. And then she goes, you're in love with him? He was like, yes, but I don't want to be. She was like, yeah, well, I don't want to be in love with a nameless senator. Remember last week, Landon shaded her and was like, oh, well, you're in love with that senator. And so she was like, I don't want to be in love with the nameless senator, but I am. She was like, listen, but no matter what you do, you can't act on it. And he was like, why? She said, Landon, he's straight. He's like, yeah, I know, but. She's like, no, there is no buts. He was like, I know, but he does have a nice butt. She was like, Landon. And he was like, what? Okay, fine. He was like, but he likes to drink. Like, he was going straight up queen on us. He was like, but he likes to drink, He was like, we see each other sometimes late at night, and he'll be having on his PJs with no shirt on. She was like, Landon. And he was like, what? He is fine. She was like, yeah, but I know that, but nothing can happen. He's like, yeah, I know, but she was like, no buts, Landon, nothing. He was like, okay, I know. She was like, and you got to make sure that if he's drinking a lot, you're drinking less. She was like, trust me, I've been sucked into this trap before. You do not want to go down this road. He was like, I know, you're right. He was like, well, come on, let's go get a drink. And he was like, you know what? No, you're probably right. The conference is probably going to start, but we got to meet up later on. She was like, okay. He gave her a little kiss on the cheek and was like, bye, girl. Like, I like that about Landon. He's kind of like, queen. I like it. I like Landon. But he can be so thirsty at times that it's like, nah. I even said, I was like, probably Jeffrey and him would probably be a nicer fit than him and Justin. But Landon just does too much. You gotta let people breathe, Landon. Okay, you gotta back up a little bit. And he's got a problem with that. Okay, so now let's switch on over to back to the jailhouse. So David comes in to see Jeffrey. He's like, hey son, how you doing? He's like, it's difficult in here, Dad. He's like, I know, son, I'm trying to get you out. I'm trying the best I can to get you out. Just hang tight. And he was like, I got somebody for you, and it's Wyatt. He's like, I told him he was my assistant. Wyatt comes in, Jeffrey's face lit up. He was like, Jeffrey, man. He was like, hey, Wyatt. And he's like, listen, I know they're not supposed to record in here, guys, but they probably do. So just be careful about what you say. So David leaves out. So Wyatt comes in. He's like, man, what the heck's going on? What are you doing in here? He was like, my mother. He was like, yeah, what about her? He goes, she had me arrested for the murder of Quincy Maxwell. He goes, what? Wait a minute. Who's Quincy? He was like, come on, Quincy. You know Quincy. He was like, wait a minute. Is that guy that came to my house with Amanda? He's like, yeah. He's also Candace's baby father. And he was like, what? Well, how in the heck did she do that? He was like, listen, I can't say too much in here, He was like, yeah, I know what you mean. He was like, but listen, man, you're going to get out of here. Don't worry about it. Just trust your dad. He was like, okay, enough about me, man. What's going on with you? Wyatt was like, man, what you mean me? You locked up. He was like, yeah, man, but you looking kind of fidgety. He was like, are you still with? And he was going to say Anna, but Wyatt was like, no. He was like, Wyatt, come on, man. He was like, listen, don't worry about me. I'm fine. We just don't worry about you. You're going to get out of here, okay? Your dad's got this under control. He was like, yeah, but I can't believe my mom would do this all because she just doesn't like who I am. He was like, man, don't worry about it. That's the worst thing you could do is worry about it. He was like, all we got to do is testify against our parents. You're going to get out of here. He was like, and after you get out, you can come stay with me until you get on your feet. And Jeffrey was like, Wyatt. And he was like, no, man, listen, you've always been there for me. Now it's my time to be here for you. I got $9 million. I got you, man. He was like, we can even move to Cali, live it up, man. You know, you've always been there for me. I got your back. And Jeffrey was like, man, I'm just tired. I'm tired. Like, I really felt that from him. His eyes started watering up. Good acting. And Wyatt was like, no, man, don't get tired. You can't get tired in here, man. You got to fight. He was like, do not worry. Your father's going to get you out. He's like, all right, man. He's like, I'm trying, but my mom is worse. Like, he's saying, I think the power of my mom might overpower my dad. He was like, you can't think like that, man. You getting out of here. So Jeffrey was like, all right. And then, so Wyatt was like, come on, man, give me a hug. So they start hugging. And Jeffrey's like, yeah, man, appreciate that. And who opens up the door and sees them hugging in the interrogation room? Justin. Now, he didn't really look like he wanted to kill nobody. He looked like sad. Like he was going to start bawling his eyes out. Man, that boy is so hypnotized by Jeffrey. He's mesmerized, hypnotized, all types of ties. Just, he's all ties by Jeffrey. Okay, just can't get enough of the man. Alright, so I do think that was everything from the episode. But just let me double check, y'all. Let me double check. Because I cannot come back and do another video. Because my phone is doing all types of craziness. Plus, I have an assignment that I should have finished already. It's not due yet, but I should have did it already. Because now, I have to do it now. And I don't feel like doing it. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay? Make no mistake. Okay, yeah. Oh, nope. Almost forgot. How did I forget this thing? Okay, so let's go on over to Veronica's house. Now, Melissa over there and drinking. So Veronica comes up into the kitchen, and she was like, Melissa, where's my alcohol? She said, I don't know. She said, are you drunk? She said, no, I'm drinking, but I'm not drunk. And she goes, I know you're not drinking with you're pregnant. She was like, come on, I'm sure your mother drank with you, and you turned out just fine. She snatches Melissa, said, get your ass up, grabs a spoon, and gags her with it so that she throws up the liquor. And Melissa's like, you know what? You think you can keep me here just to incubate this child? But you're wrong. She said, you know what? If you think that you're going to be getting rid of the only thing that I have to look forward to, you're wrong. She said, well, if you think that I'm going to let you do to this child what you done to me and Jeffrey, oh, you'd be really wrong about that. And I know you don't think you're going to see this child. Veronica said, oh, on the contrary, honey, I will see my grandchild, but you won't. She was like, you're such a wicked witch. She goes, yeah. You know, Melissa, I'm trying to be nice to you, but things could be a lot worse. Things could be a lot worse. You understand that? She said, you could have no freedoms. You could have no money. You could have no place to stay. You have all of that. Things could be worse. She said, nothing is worse than living with you. She said, yeah, whatever. Just clean my sink. And she ends up, she was like, you clean your own sink. So she came back and slapped it. She said, clean my sink. And she said, you know what, Melissa? You're the problem. She said, you had one task, and that was to get my son to sleep with you. And you couldn't even do that. She said, he's gay. She said, no. You're the problem. One thing. Just to get my son to sleep with you. And we wouldn't have had to deal with all this BS that we have to deal with now. She said, no, Veronica, he's gay. And you won't be able to change that. She said, well, I beg to differ. He's not gay. You're the problem. No, you're the problem. She said, you're crazy, Veronica. You're crazy. I'm not the problem. And you need to understand that putting your son in jail is not going to change the fact that he's gay. You need to get over it. So everybody's telling Veronica, you need to get over it. You need to get over it. He's gay. Moving on. You know what I mean? And so Veronica's like, no, you're the problem. You are the problem. Okay. So in this scene, Melissa kind of, I don't know if she's saying, I will kill this baby before I ever let you get in contact with it. Or if she's saying, I'm going to have this baby and you're not going to be anywhere near my child. So I don't know exactly where she's at with that right now. All I know is that she doesn't want Veronica in contact with the baby at all, period. And she shouldn't. Even though I don't really know if Veronica would harm this child, specifically because I do think she really believes this is her second chance at a child. I think she thinks she failed with Jeffrey somewhere because he's gay. So, which is a really ignorant thought, but, you know, I just think that's where she's coming from. By the way, hated that tablecloth she's wearing, hated her hair. Just wanted to put that out there because I hated it. So, again, I was irritated that Melissa didn't smack her back when she smacked her. And we actually see Melissa was cleaning the sink. Which, girl, you gagged me. And then you gonna tell me to clean the sink out? For real? She said, oh, you gonna say I'm the problem, but your son wants Mitch. And I was like, girl, I don't think Jeffrey want no Mitch. Okay, but you know what? He might, because Jeffrey is liking these white boys. Aside from Landon, that's all he really been going. And he swear he didn't even really like Landon. He was just using him. I don't know, Jeffrey. I don't know about you. You need to get you some. But you know what, Tyler? You need to throw some brothers in, or something. Just at the very least, come on. And stop overdoing it with these scenes. Like I said, I don't even know what Katherine. I don't know if she said anything when she came in the room immediately with Gia and Jim. I think she did, y'all, but I missed it because I cannot entertain that sort of thing. Okay, I can't. I just call me immature if you want. I couldn't do it. Okay, but I do think that was everything. I'm gonna cut it right here, y'all, because I don't want to keep y'all here all night, and I do want to get this video up, because it is going to take some time. Anyway, okay, y'all. So, thank you so much for watching. Much love to you all. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Next week is actually the finale. And tonight is the finale for If Loving You Is Wrong. So, these were shorter seasons that we got from both of them. I think Tyler might be doing that because I was thinking about this too. I've always wanted them to run at the same time. But I'm like, wait a minute. If they both go off at the same time, are we going to be waiting till June to get these shows back? Because that's crazy. Because they're going to go off. I knew they were going off this month. Like, it's just kind of early. But, so I was like, if we are done in March and have to wait till June for a new season, that's crazy. So I think at this point, they're at least probably going to come back in May. Mid-May, late May, whatever. Just make sure it's May, Tyler. And don't start tripping, okay? So I think that's why they're ending so early, because this will only be 10 episodes for the halves and 9 episodes for If Loving You Is Wrong, if I'm counting right. So, yeah, but they gave a good run. I'm excited for the finale next week. Okay, y'all, so I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let me know if I left anything out. This episode was very jam-packed. Very good, but very jam-packed. It is the one and only your girl, J. Much love to you all. Have a good night. Peace. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I forgot to mention that when when Candace forces Gia to go in there and take a shower, Candace actually is counting the money, and she goes, "This is all he paid you?" And Gia goes, "Yeah." And then Candace gonna say something, "Oh, we need to talk." And small side note, remember I said Jim was like, "Oh, and you want a divorce?" He told her, he was like, "We're not getting a divorce, right?" That was all. Divorce is placed on pause with Jim and Katherine. I don't know how long, but I'm gonna stop it right there. This is the last time. It is the one and only your girl, J. Much love. Peace.